Hey everybody, this is Dave from AskUncleDave.com. Today I'd like to talk to you about tvOS 10.1 Beta 3. Now in Beta 3, the TV app came about, and here it is. And at first, when I installed Beta 3 on my Apple TV, I didn't have the TV app, and that all of a sudden it showed up. This was like hours later. Maybe Apple is pulling it, fixing some stuff, and then putting it back without changing the beta number. But that's cool, so don't expect it to be there the minute you install this. Now, before we go into the app, I want to talk to you also about what happened in beta. Um, it happened in beta 1. Beta 1, you got a single sign-on. So the TV provider section here under accounts, you can plot in the information for your cable company, the username and password, and you'll be able to sign in without having to sign in right into all the apps that you use, like all those channel apps or any channels that are provided by your cable company on your cable box. You'll have access inside the individual apps. Now Sling doesn't work that way, and I have Sling. I have the orange package. It has some sports and a bunch of different channels. Now there's only a few channels that you can actually sign into, and that is like this: the do-it-yourself and the cooking channel and the watch food channel, as well as ESPN and Fox and FX. But they're not listed here, even though I signed in using my Sling credentials. But for any event, we're going to go over the TV app, even though I don't have a cable company, a traditional cable company. But we will talk about it nevertheless. So here is the TV app, and here you'll see a top shelf. And these are all the shows that you started to watch, and Apple will give you a quick way to jump right to them. Now, the TV app works sort of like this. Let me show you. So far, they have cooperation from Hulu, Stars, um, HBO Now, CBS, and Showtime, and CW. Now, CW is great. There's no sign-on at all needed for that. But all the other ones you're going to need. Now, I have Hulu. I have the CWs, obviously. And then I have a Netflix account. Now, you don't see Netflix here in the list. Maybe there's something going on. And down here, you have a bunch of apps that you can use your single sign-on with. Okay? But you don't see Netflix here. But Netflix is here, believe it or not. If you search something for Netflix, like for instance, we go to search, and we have House of Cards. That's a Netflix exclusive. Okay, watch this. HOUS House of Cards here. So we click on House of Cards, and it will open up, and it'll say it's available in Netflix. So Netflix is here, and if you find exclusive stuff, you will find it in Netflix. Now this is available on Netflix and iTunes. And that brings us to when you go in and hit the home button, because they changed the remote now. Believe it or not, you could be in the App Store. And when you hit that home button on the right, you first go to the TV app. And then if you hit it again, then you go to the home button. But in the old days, if you were in the App Store and you hit the home button, you would have went straight home. But now you don't do that. You go straight to the TV app. Now I keep calling it app, but it's not exactly an app. It's more of a search engine that takes all of this information from all of these services and categorizes them, and then it serves it up to you in one easy search. Okay, so now the background art, it looks nice. These are shows, they pick background art full screen on shows that you started to watch. or that you were watching. And here on the up next, you'll see the shows that you started to watch and that you didn't finish. And you got some nice artwork there. Okay. Now this section here is what to watch, and they have mostly Hulu and CW. Okay. But there's some Showtime in there and all that stuff. So this is TV Spotlight. Okay, like I said, most of it's Hulu. Um, and they have movie Spotlight. And then you could do collections, like for instance, you have collections here, and you can just, like the whole Simpsons collection. And it's all on Hulu, obviously. But even though I have the Fox app installed here, which, by the way, you can use single sign-on to sign on to the app. Now, let me show you something. You can use Sling credentials. You don't have to watch Fox or ESPN right inside Sling. You can actually use the apps. So all you do is pretty much sign into it. But the single sign-on doesn't work for them when you're using Sling. So you have to go to the website. You have to, put in your password and all that for Sling. Put in the little code, and just like you did in the old days for your cable company apps. But Apple's trying to make it easy for you to sign on to these things. So here's Simpsons, and Simpsons, you can go into the seasons, and Apple created a nice little way to, shoot across and see all the seasons and stuff like that. And so I don't know why these are not loading, but it's pretty nice that way. So next we have, just a whole bunch of collections there. So then you have war movies, then Edge of Your Seat, and they got different categories, different things like TV shows, and then if it's not available on the services that you are doing, it will be in iTunes. So Hulu's got a big selection, and you don't realize how big it is until you use this app, because then you see a lot of stuff. Now, library is all the stuff that you purchased. I purchased these things when my kids were small. And then you got the store, obviously. And the store also has the iTunes releases. So you can check here and see all the iTunes stuff that you can buy. And then when you click it, you can actually purchase it right through there and rent it or buy it. Or you can even open it in the iTunes app, see some previews. You got the synopsis and all that stuff. So it's pretty cool. I like it. Um, Now, the other thing is, if we come out of the app and you go to the settings again, if you go into apps and you go into TV, okay, you're going to see connected. These are all connected here. And what that is you give Apple permission to see what you've watched and what your watch history is and things like that. So this is your play history, and you give permission with any device that's hooked up with your username, your Apple ID. Now, if you're watching this on a Roku, you're watching Hulu on a Roku, you're not going, all those shows, like say you save something to favorites, it's not going to show up here. It's only devices that you use with your Apple ID, and the changes you make there will show up in all the changes on iOS and tvOS, but it won't show up on an app that's on the Roku. So you can grant permission and take it away, of course. So let me explain to you something else. When you watch a show, and say you pick a show like Interstellar, okay, and it's on Hulu. Usually when you open up Hulu, you get this splash screen like this, and it takes a minute to load up the catalog of all the shows, but you're not doing it this way. This is the direct link right to that show, so it actually works on starting up the show and not refreshing the catalog. Now, of course, this is not going to play because I'm recording the screen, and Hulu's got a little safeguard there because they don't want you recording with your Mac using that wire that hooks up to your USB or your USB-C. So And when you watch something new, like say I watch this and I hit play and I start to watch it, and once I go back, hit the button, you'll see it pop up here and you're up next. So I think Apple's heading in the right direction with this. Maybe this is their way of making it a little bit easier for people in the TV and movie industry to swallow. But I doubt Apple will have any real service unless they make their own and have their own studio and all that stuff. And I think that's going to be tough to do. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer your questions, research things for you, whatever. And don't forget to click on the links that you see on the screen now, and you'll be able to, get into my next videos, even on mobile devices. So thank you, and have a nice day. And I'll see you on the next video.